what you can do, you are working on all these source code projects. Now, what you can control in this, everyone is working on the source code, so you really cannot control the platform. But what you can control is ask the developers to modularize their components, to better document their components, so that it requires minimal communication across the groups.
Right.
That you can control. Right? And if you do that, then you will have larger success of the project. You can say that. So that's the conclusion.
Right, you can control.
That's the conclusion.
Yeah, okay.
Rather than use the platform and I'm already using the platform, so what should I do?
Okay, but
I really don't know.
Right. Let me clarify though, but when you say SourceForge platform, really, SourceForge is more of like an infrastructure. Every project creates their own platform on the infrastructure, and they're very different. So the 143 we study, even though they're all on SourceForge infrastructure, each one has their own source code repository, their own design of software, is it modular or not, they have their own set of documentation, their own rules, so they're very different. So to think that, well, they're all on the SourceForge platform and that's what platform means, that's really not. The SourceForge really just provides some basic functionalities. There's a great deal of decisions that are made by the administrators in each project. So each one, I view the platform as really each project creates this platform. Again, it's what, if you log on and you say, I want to get involved in this project, it's what you see. If you log into this project versus the other project, you would see probably quite a different platform in terms of the software, how well it's documented or not, what kind of conversations are going on, what rules are there, what am I allowed to do, what am I not allowed to do. All of that is what I view as the platform. So I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it is about, you know, minimizing the need for this interaction, but how do you go about doing it? I think software modularity is one way, but there's other ways, such as better documentation, better rules, and maybe there's modular. But they're all in this kind of abstract notion of platform that we're trying to, the reason for defining that is to say, let's try to move that to the Wikipedia. How about the platform idea there? Because the same kinds of things go on, but in a different way. I mean, maybe we need more consensus. Maybe there's, with software, you need more integration. In Wikipedia, you may need more organization. You know, there may be, but it's still the platform. It's all about the platform, is what seems to be what I'm saying.
I think maybe
The platform is abstract.
this definition, I think, is the issue.
Yeah, I think what is that?
We gotta get a different word around this. We gotta get a different
Maybe
word.
there's a different word.
Maybe we need a David word made up that says, this is my definition.
It's got to be different.
Kenneth needs a clarification.
Okay, ask your clarification.
The problem is not the word, the problem is the meaning. And you know,
Where are we now? Okay.
well, the problem is you've left us with an under-theorized concept, and we're not going to be able to resolve it. So I'd like to actually move the conversation in a little bit different direction. And that's back to what I saw the purpose of the dissertation. I saw it as a contribution to the sociology of work or the sociology of production. You know, that's whatever we call it. I would call it sociology of work and production. And that was ground in a particular model about how what you call work groups, or maybe more broadly, how different sort of collections of actors get things done. And that to get things done, they need to have surveys, they need to be able to communicate with each other, they need to coordinate things that they do. They need to have motivation, they need to have incentive. Those are the sorts of things, if you go back to your slide 4, which you call the mysteries of open source software. It seems to me that those are what really lie behind questions of social structure. Why should there be any structure at any time? Well, because there are economic problems, there are production, functional, problems. And I think one sort of unanswered question here is that you kind of a little bit of sleight of hand. You sort of skip over the economic, and you kind of address the operational, but you go directly to the success mystery, But in fact, the success history is simply an implication of the functional or operational and economic. Right? I mean, success derives from presumably the ability to solve these other mysteries, and then you get success. And so, when I sort of step back and look at your actual measures of these social structures, I sort of ask, well, what in terms of human activity are you kind of measuring? And it seems to me you're largely measuring sort of communication type activity, where you have to get knowledge, you have to share knowledge, you have to collect, as you say, resources. And you're not finding those to be, as strong as the literature on other types of production workers would suggest they might be. And so we're trying to figure that out. And you've kind of rested on this platform notion. And that's, I think, where the problem comes in. This platform is simply a matter of software specifications and interfaces. I don't think so. I mean, I think that, as you say, that's at best not sufficient information. Okay, so then what is it a matter of? Like, what is it that is not a problem, therefore doesn't need to have these kind of traditional emergent